Yes, sir, baby. Woo, woo. Welcome to Comics on Canes. Welcome. It's Michael Yo, man. First of all, thank you for all the subs. We just went over 1,000. We're almost at 1,100. That's my man, Finesse Mitchell, ex-Miami Hurricane player, 1991. Bro, what's up, Jacoby Greggs checking in? Go Canes. It's all about the you. You know what it is. How you feeling? Man?
Me?
Yes. How you feeling as a fan? We're going to get to players in a second.
Me?
And break down. Yes, you.
Man. Let me see. We got about 10 years of coming out of a bye week with an L.
Yep.
So, I'm very thankful that they were able to win the shootout in Louisville, Kentucky. And a dub is a dub is a dub. I'ma always love on my team.
Let me tell you something. I've been saying this. If you listen to this podcast, you know my feeling on bye weeks with the portal. To me, history don't matter anymore with portals.
Yeah.
It made sense before because you would pretty much have the same team every single year. A couple freshmen would play and stuff like that. But now you could drastically have a different team the next year. So all this history of people saying, well, we lost out of it. That don't matter because football has changed. It don't matter no more.
Everything,
you got portal.
Everything about college football has changed. There are offensive coordinators in college football that could easily be in the pros in every major program.
Yep.
There's so much money floating around now, and I am so happy that the players are receiving some of that money because we see the abundance of money. I mean, it's like some of these programs aren't even missing a financial beat, and we know that some of these players are getting over $500,000.
I mean, can you imagine like 91? I played in that time too for Arkansas just for a year and a half before I got hurt. But like our major players, I mean, you're packing out 70,000 people stadiums and you're getting nothing but 35, 25. Maybe you got to eat free at a restaurant if you won. If you lost, they would charge you full price. I mean, it's a great thing for college football. I think it's a great thing.
$35, if I remember correctly. They called it meal money for the weekend.
Yeah.
$35. And of course, as you know, the story and the history of our school, I mean, we had people coming from neighborhoods where they couldn't even walk in a 4-day jersey. You would send people into the bookstore to steal your jersey for you.
Yes.
Because you didn't want to get caught and kicked off the team. But,
I mean, I think it goes back to that documentary, Fab Five. You remember that one? These are Michigan Wolverines basketball team. I remember like copying what they wore. They were that big. You know what I mean? And these dudes couldn't even afford, like you said, their own jersey. They were begging for money to eat at McDonald's. It's crazy how college took advantage of players, but it was what it was, and now it's changed. So that's a good thing. And people complaining, saying only the big schools are going to win now. It's always been like that. They just now it's legal. They've always done that. Trust me.
Yeah, and you know that schools like Missouri, Indiana, institutions like Army, these cats are out there balling, bro. It's not just the Clemsons. Well, they're on their way back, but it's this season because they had a rough year last year, but they seem to be kicking butt over there on the other side of the ACC. But you still just don't have your usual suspects. There are programs that have great development, great coaches, and great athletes that came in one way, and by their junior and senior year, they balling.
And you still see a lot of upsets from schools that don't have a lot of money. So I mean, you could talk about you could talk about NIL all you want. Guess what? Every week, pretty much there's an upset from a school with no NIL beating a school with a lot of NIL.
Yes.
All right.
You still got to go out there and play.
All right. For anybody checking in, this is live. This is the almost instant reaction. I never do it the day of because we're comics. We're on stage. We have to do it at different times. But if you got any comments, leave them in the comment area. I know a lot of people. I want to just skip to this and we'll bounce around. Anything you want to talk about, Finesse, just throw it out. But I want to give everybody a shout out that hit me up when A.J. Allen came in the fourth quarter and held it down. Everybody was like, Michael Yo is smiling somewhere. Yeah. And I was. And I love those comments. I love how the Kane fans know how big of a fan I am of A.J. Allen because you listen to the podcast. My X blew up. My Instagram blew up. My cell phone blew up. It was a beautiful thing for them to trust A.J. Allen, top of the fourth. Game is tight. And you can just see, look, Damon is great. We know Fletcher's, all the running backs are great. But it was great change of pace. And for Mario to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to listen to Merritt and say, he's different from Fletcher. And he's different from Damian Martin. Let's hit him with some different speed. Yeah. And you can see it. They were like, yo, what's going on? He broke a 9-yard. He got a touchdown. And the only thing I will say about A.J. Allen, he got a run and he took himself out the game. I saw it because he was tired. I saw it and I was like, oh, he may never get back in. Yeah. Because when you got a stacked running back room, when you pull yourself out, you don't know if you're going to get back in. Right. I want to get your comments on A.J. Allen, and then I want to tell you some things to see if you agree or disagree with him in the game. Go ahead.
Well, I definitely don't think putting A.J. Allen in at any point in the game is a drop-off. No. He's one of the toughest running backs we have. Of course, that you want a little bit more size in run protection, but if you know we're giving a running back the ball, put him in the mix. You don't have to wait till like fourth quarter. And I love the fact that someone said during the game that Merritt said that he had a great practice that week.
Yes.
Therefore, let's reward him. You know what? You got to be a classy guy if you A.J. Allen. Because I would have been like, remember me during the Clemson game last year? Remember how we won that game? I don't think there's been a drop-off, guys. I've only gotten better. And I know this backfield is full, but I need to eat. And so to get in, to talk your jump, to back it up, and to let your play speak for you, I instantly grabbed my phone and said, look at our boy, Michael Yo.
I love, and you know what I do like that's different from this year, and of course different from Manny Diaz. If a player messes up in a game, they're gonna, and punish is the wrong word, but hey, next man up. Like Mark Fletcher, if you notice, after he fumbled that ball, they came back to him for a couple of plays, but he really didn't play that much after that.
Right.
And I love, this is the first
Same
time.
thing on Louisville side. Isaac Brown fumbled the ball. They took him out for like 2 series. He
got hurt though too. His ankle got kind of busted up, so he wasn't
the play that he fumbled.
Yeah, and they tried to put him back in. He wasn't the same though. They wrecked him.
Bain and Barrow.
Woo!
I mean, that was a 1-2 punch. He went flying back. The ball went flying back further, and Popo was like, "Is that the ball?" And
man, can I tell you something without jumping around too much? Popo. That's the future, right? That dude just looks like an old school Miami linebacker, doesn't he?
Look like a Ray Lewis in the middle. That's what it looked like. So if he can run sideline to sideline with that size, because I think somebody said he was 240.
I think Mario said he was like 245.
Oh my goodness! Like who? That's you almost just going to put the 20 more pounds on, man. You Ruben Bain at that point.
Playing linebacker.
Yeah, playing linebacker. So. If he can move around at that weight and cover tight ends at that weight, then hey, bro, he is the future. We got a linebacker room coming up.
Yeah, if you got a comment, leave it. Angel thinks it was strategic how they started the running back. I think it was great game planning. I thought it was great.
I thought sometimes, as you know, Michael, you'll see the same thing week in and week out. Yep. One thing I was not a Shannon Dawson fan last year. Because it was the same players. I mean, I couldn't tell you if we had more wide receivers. He wouldn't play them. You know what I mean? So this year, it's almost like if you earn it, you're on the field. And so I love it that we are seeing Jordan Lau, and I love it that we're seeing A.J. Allen. I love it that we're seeing all types of receivers. I would like to see JoJo Trader a little bit more.
Me too.
I would like to see Nikar a little bit more.
But you're saying a lot of players are getting in, but let's be honest. They got to have confidence in the quarterback to put all these. Cam Ward is the key, man. Like, I think when people put Shannon Dawson under the microscope for last year, now we see this year but he's 1-on-1. Let's be honest. Cam Ward is 1-on-1, right?
Right.
But with a good quarterback, Dawson would have had way more leverage and could have done a lot more. You see the difference. It's hard because Cam's so good. He's that one. But I think even if you had a better, like a quarterback that was, let's say, 60% of Cam Ward, I think Dawson would have had a lot more leverage and a lot more play making ability last year from the quarterback to get the balls to all these people.
I just thought the playbook was a little stagnant. I just thought it was.
But was that because of quarterback? That's my question. Was it because of the quarterback?
Yeah, I just thought the bubble. We were so bubble screen heavy last year.
Yeah,
we were so we got to treat Emory with kid gloves last year, and it was just made the whole offense look stale, and we would get the crap beat out of us sometimes, and it was just like, man, this stuff. But this year. And especially this Louisville game. And like you said, Cam is 1-on-1. But everybody we went out and got and gave a bag to, they showed up.
They did.
Cam did his thing. Sam Brown did his thing. Barrow from Michigan State, the D tackle, he always finds a way to get his one sack and one
Barron.
Who did you just say?
Barron,
yes. He did his thing. And then I don't know if you're ready to go here yet, but
no, not yet. We're gonna get to. I know you want to talk about the defensive backs. I know we're gonna get to them. Let's talk about the good. We're gonna start with the good.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get to the defense.
Let me tell you what they're cooking on that O-line.
Yeah.
I think Markel Bell is gonna be so ready for next year.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So him coming in and spelling Jalen Rivers so that Jalen doesn't re-injure anything. And there was no drop off. I said, this dude's confidence is going to be through the roof by the time he finishes this season. I will not have any just unsurety in my heart about somebody who's 6'8". On the end and being able to go against speedy linebackers and edge rushers. This guy's getting so much experience because I don't know if you remember when we put Zion Nelson in the fire at Florida.
Yeah,
Zion had like 9 sacks against him.
It was
ugly,
dude. That was a mess, man. When Manny had all those, it was just there was no coaching. It was it was horrible finesse. It was horrible.
So you see Sampson on the bench. Probably just chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
but he's not breaking through that top tier, which is, hey, you got to call it like you see it. I trust Mirabel. If he was a Markel Bell, he'd be on the field.
And guess what? They paying him, so they want him to play. Trust me, they want Pancake to play.
They want him.
They're paying this dude money. They want him to play. But
you know,
he came from a smaller school. Competition was different.
Yes, exactly.
So. But I bet you Pancake will be getting in more towards the end of the season. And next year, it could be his year. But here's what I love. And this is the difference.
If 61 stays, if Maui Goa stays, which I'm pretty sure he will.
Oh, yeah, he has to. I think you got to do 3 years, don't you?
So if he stays, bro, and then you put Markel Bell on the other side, you can either shift. If Sampson just blows the roof off on either tackle position, you can move Magoa to guard, and you still got Ryan Rodriguez, and you still got the other guy. Because the only person I see leaving is really Coop and Jalen Rivers.
Yeah.
And Carpenter has to read.
And think about just think about what Mirabal is building offensive line wise. And what I love was, I believe it was Rivers. After the game, and this is what I love, they are really playing unselfish. Rivers was like, yo, Markel Bell played with me this last game because I told coach he did too good replacing me to not play. And that's players stepping up for other players. You know what I mean? And that's we haven't had that so long where players are like, yo, get this dude in.
Right.
even if he's my competition, but we on the same team. Like that's what I love, the unselfishness right now. They're like, yo, this dude stepped in, killed it. He needs to play, coach. And since you got that leadership council, these leaders are coming in telling the coaches hey, this is what we feel, and the coaches are doing it. Just like when Cam Ward, it was 4th and 1 on the 34-yard line. Cam was like, let's go. Old Mario, no way he goes for that. New Mario is like, let's go, Cam.
Let's go.
I'm gonna put it on the offensive line.
And he goes.
That's right.
Hey, I love it, man.
I mean, let's be honest. Mario would have punted that ball 9 out of 10 times.
Have you ever seen? I've never seen, and I know Cam, we sound biased, but I think all of college football can see it. I've never seen a Peyton Manning this guy is such a coach on the field.
Yes.
I always see him moving protection. I always see him changing plays.
Yes.
And he's never changed a play to a check down where we just gonna run it in the middle of the line for no gain. Because that's what we would do last year. We would just run
how many times, Finesse? How many times did we change the play, the handoff, and we either lose yards because they knew this is what that defense was like. All right, if we play zone, some kind of zone, he can't read it, and then they're gonna hand the ball off anyway.
Right.
You know?
What I like most about the brotherhood and the players' unselfishness is that I think we see it most in the wide receiver room. You know, I don't know what those young guys are doing, but we don't see a lot of the young guys bitching and complaining that they're not on the field. But the celebration and the excitement and the blocking for the other wide receivers is so different this year compared to last year.
By the way, Joshua, phenomenal artist. He did you see it all over Instagram and Twitter. Sebastian doing this. He made that artwork. Big shout out to him. Yeah, we said that on the podcast, Joshua. I agree with you. Cam, he's an NFL player playing college football this year because he should be in the NFL. Let's be serious. You know?
And there's no way his attitude, his intelligence, his football IQ should not translate all the way down through that quarterback room. Now, you may not have the physical ability to tuck it and run, and because I swear it still looks like he's running in slow motion, but I don't know. It was 3rd and 17. He picked it up. 17.
Yes.
He picked it up with no problem. So I'm like, man, he is deceptively fast. And and another shout out to Coach Cristobal, to Coach Shannon Dawson, and the running back coach, because
Merritt.
I don't know what it is, but we've watched it for 5 or 6 games now. Daniel Martinez starts out extremely slow. Yes. And it did not happen in the Louisville game. Why? Because he did not start. But when he did get in, all of a sudden he was in halftime speed. And we were like, oh, so you can have another level if you start off seeing somebody else go out there and rip up the field. Because there's no way Mark Fletcher did not set the tone and he got his act together.
But can I tell you something? And you know, I may be an AJ Allen homer, right? You know, I love me some AJ Allen. If AJ Allen had those same 2 holes at the beginning of game Mark Fletcher had, he would have scored on both.
Yeah.
Because that's just the difference of speed. But I love what they got. Like I said, I even tweeted, I got a lot of action from it yesterday, is that power backs is one thing. I always think you should start the game with more of speed backs, because speed kills you at the beginning. And then once that line wears you down, you hit them. You hit them with that power, or just mix it in. But I think speed needs to be an early look. Trust me, I love AJ Allen got in the 4th, but just think about if you combine those 3. And look, no disrespect to Lyle and Chris Johnson. They're going to do their thing too.
Yeah.
But any of those being mixed in with Mark Fletcher and Damian Martinez up top would just give that defense like, yo, are we getting power? It's just different, man. And I love that they finally did it in the 4th. And everybody, I was so excited for that, man. I was so excited.
Man, let me tell you something. There's just something about watching somebody play the same position you play and watching them ball out that you stand on that sideline with twitchy fingers, just you staring at the coach the whole time. And every time you hope his eye that he look at you and he say, Martinez, and now you in the game. And man, let me tell you something. I was ready to test Damian for PhDs. It was speed, it was power, it was dragging folks, it was just ignoring the first initial contact, and he wasn't going down into the third hit. And I was like, okay.
And can I tell you something that was very weird? And I don't know if I've just been missing it. The first 6 games with Damian Martinez, it looked like he was having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he always, but when he dragged all those people to the end zone, but it just looked like everybody's having fun. No matter, this was weird. The score is close, very close, but everybody's like just having fun, man.
Yeah.
They just, it's this confidence they have that they know they're going to win, you know?
Yep. Nobody looked panicked. And every time, even when they tied the game up, and I was like, oh, we got a full another quarter?
Yeah.
We'll probably put up another 21 points. Like, I was easily like not worried at all. And it's not even an arrogance thing. It's just like, well, it's a different team.
We're getting a lot of comments. Kendrick Merritt says A.J. Allen always makes the first guy miss. I agree. Martinez was like a train for that. Oh, it was so beautiful to watch him carry all those people.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what it looked like? It would look like he was a high school player playing like intermediate football.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, Joshua, he was a grown man.
What I love about A.J. Allen is that A.J. doesn't have to get to the hole and slow down.
No.
Doesn't have to pick a hole. Whether he's cutting left or right, it just feels like he's still accelerating. And by that, and there is nothing worse, Michael, than trying to tackle a scat back with power.
Yeah.
Anybody that's 5'10" with big thighs and they can run like a 4.4 or 4.5, it's the worst for anybody.
Am I stretching, saying he's kind of like Etienne from Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could be a version of that for us. You know what I mean? Yeah, for all the people watching, 62 people watching, please hit that subscribe button. We try to build this thing. Look, we're trust us. We're gonna get to the defense in a second.
The defense
will. I want to highlight all the good first, and then there's a couple things. Well, not a couple. There's a lot we need to talk about the defense. A lot we need. Sam Brown, a lot of people doubted Sam Brown. I'm glad he stepped up. 126 yards yesterday. To me, it's easier for a receiver to get on track. You catch one ball, you catching everything. I knew over time he was going to get it. I was never down on him. Martinez, I was never down on him, but yesterday it looked like Finesse says, he was on a different level. Yeah. Cam was Cam, X was X. Jacoby, that throw that Cam made to the back of the end zone. Come on, man. Stop it.
Bro.
Stop it.
I mean, it was a carbon copy of the Florida game when he threw it in the back of the end zone and then just went over to the sideline and took his helmet off and was like, I'm the man. And this time when he did it, he just turned around and he just put his hands on his hips and he was looking the other way.
Love it.
You know what, man? I mean, our receivers are so good. For balls that they drop or something that's just a freak bobble and it's an interception. But it is so hard to be running one way. Your man starts scrambling. So now you got to improvise and follow him across the field. He throws a bullet because that's the only way it's going to get through all the muck. And you get to that spot that you're not even there yet. And you catch it with soft hands. That was a thing of beauty from Jacoby George, bro.
It was, man.
It was a thing of beauty. Two toes touch in the end zone. And you hop out of bounds because that's how much of a tight space it was. That was a beautiful catch by Jacoby George.
You know what was so funny, Finesse? You just did this and hearts just popped up. I wonder if it'll do it for mine. You did that and the hearts popped up. It did it. I don't know how I did it, but that was funny. That was funny. Hang on one second. I got to hit my dude, Forrest. He's going to try to pop in too. We live now.
Xavier Strepo, amazing. Sam Brown, a beautiful game.
Beautiful.
And with the blocking. And then I'm telling you, this kid is on the road, bro. But Isaiah Horton, he done scored in every game since, I think, USF.
Okay. The one thing I didn't like Sam Brown do was jog into the end zone when he caught that first one. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
You know what I mean? Sam is very hard to tackle after the catch. When I watched his tape at Houston, I was like, oh, okay, I see what his super strength is. You know what I mean? He get the ball. He's pretty hard to bring down. But yesterday was the first game that I saw where it just seemed like it was a complete game for him. You know?
Yeah.
Normally they'll have Jacoby running those routes going across the seam like that. But this time, Sam, he saw pans. He didn't act like he was half-assing it. And he actually, he looked like he pulled away from some people until,
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me when we can get to defense.
Okay. Anything else we need to cover on the offensive side, and then we can jump into the defense?
Want to give a big shout out to Zach Carpenter. Want to give a big shout out to Inez Cooper. And I want to give a big shout out to who's our other guard on the other side.
Inez, you got Jalen Rivers. You got Markel Bell. Did he play it?
No, the guard. Who's on the other side of Cooper? You got Cooper, you got Carpenter, and you got who's our guard?
It's Jalen Rivers, isn't it?
No, or is Jalen is a tackle.
Well, you got
who's next to? Why am I drawing a blank?
Hold on. People,
put it in the comments, people.
Somebody says McCoy. Is that right?
Yes, McCoy. But he hasn't been out there, has he?
Has he been starting this whole McCoy?
I think McCoy's been hurt. McCoy's been starting that guard. He was our starting guard, and then he went down, and Ryan Rodriguez became our guard. He went down.
So Matt McCoy must have been, everybody's saying it's McCoy, 78, number 78.
Okay, so if he was out there yesterday, I didn't see him yesterday, but maybe he was out there. But anyway, the entire O-line, big shout out to Jalen Rivers for coming back and still looking like Jalen Rivers. And unfortunately, our tight ends couldn't get into the fun on the catches, but they had some pretty good blocks. I don't think that was a hold. I just thought that was just a wild attempt at a block.
But did you see they called a interference? I'm the same with you. But did you see that guy try to take out Kiko and they didn't call that the cross thing, the pit? Yeah. This dude literally jumped at Kiko. He's diving for the man, and they don't call that on that Louisville.
It's to the point now where I'm just like, you know what? Everybody is looking for the minor. Like, one thing I'm not going to let people do is talk to us like we the Kansas City Chiefs and we getting help with every freaking victory.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there have been decades of refs and officiating and missed calls going against Miami. And I even sent you a text during that game. I said, this is going to go against us because
I thought it was too. As soon as I was like, we ain't getting this one. We're not getting this call.
This will not be called a forward pass. Clearly, in my eyes, it was a forward pass. But they're not going to let us have this one because the ACC is going to feel pressure to stop doing Miami favors. And we won the call again. So
Well, I love this comment. It says, Michael, it's second time that I know of that you predicted a blowout and it was a close game. Stop jinxing us. Honestly, and this will lead into the defense. I really didn't know. And before I say this, I want everyone to know I'm saying this with, I guess they would say, kid gloves on, because I know these are kids. And I also know they parents watch this stuff. So this is no way to disrespect these players. It's just an observation about how they played, not them personally. Because I would never do that, because I would never want somebody to attack my kid like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to attack. I'm just saying an observation of the play, not them personally. So this will go. I really believed. We saw it on Virginia Tech. Cal, I was like, all right. But man, this is the third game.
Right.
And it's Our defensive backfield, I mean, they all are liabilities right now.
Right now, yes.
Right now, they're all no one. I didn't see OJ. I don't know if I can put OJ in that category because usually but I will put 19 in that category though.
Absolutely. I saw OJ Frederick, and I saw him on a couple of plays where there was nobody to throw to on his side, and even he went over toward the cornerbacks coach Chevis, and they kind of like high five, like lockdown shit, bro.
Okay.
But there is something about Damani Hill, if that's his first name.
Yeah.
And then Jaden Richards, I know his name.
Yeah.
Mish Powell, and Jaden Davis. There is something about these four guys where they are not only are they not playing together, but the angles of missed tackles that our safeties take, including Mish, is just it's almost like, please don't get in the open field, because if it's an open field, this not even a 50-50 right now.
No, it's not. It's not. Let me tell you something. Every time they caught a ball in space, I was like, this is not good. Like for some reason, 19 doesn't have good hips. He's the dude from Marshall, I believe. And anybody, got comments on this? Hey, we live. We'll put it on. We'll talk about it. I want your comments because that's what everybody talking about, the defense. We have the number one offense in the country, can play with anybody. And after watching Georgia's defense, what they did to Texas yesterday, I was like, yo.
Right.
Yo.
And that was a bounce back performance.
Yes.
Georgia came in there on the defensive side on a mission to show the world that 17-year-old kid that embarrassed them, it's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you know what it is, though? Somebody hit me up on X and was like, is it bad coaching or is it the players? And I go, bad coaching does not have players miss assignments like that. The coach is not saying, I want y'all to let players run free. I want y'all to let the receivers just run wide open. Right. I want you to not tackle them. Unless Guidry is saying that and Chevis Jackson is saying that to him. Because man, there's receivers run, like I'm seeing misassignments. The announcers are wow, nobody even covered that area. It's like, no, it's not coaching. Right. Unless we have a coach that's saying, look, on defense, I don't want y'all to tackle nobody. I don't want y'all doing the right assignments. And I can't see that happening. It's the players.
It's not like for the safeties coach, we didn't have the same coach as last year when we was praying James Williams wouldn't try to take somebody's head off, just tackle him. So we had
wait. It is a difference defensive back coach.
Chevis Jackson. We don't have a different safety coach. Guidry is the safety coach.
Yes.
So all he has is 2 new plugins, and these plugins are not like last year's plugins.
No.
We have not seen a consistently contested ball from our secondary. Jadis Richard had one good play where he did knock a ball out of a guy's hand.
And that was on 3rd down, I believe. That was a big play. That was a big play.
Huge play. There's something about the communication. It's just communication. The reason I'm always, sending you little text messages about 19 is because he always lets his man go. Like if you watch him play, if that man takes off and does a slant, a straight, it's like, okay, bro, we know you can come up and tackle, but you need to cover. And this guy is always pointing like, okay, the safety got him. And the safety don't know what he's talking about. That means that's a communication problem. Because the safety is trying to check a tight end or down in the middle. Safety ain't running down the field with your man.
So this is my thing. This is the second year under this system we're seeing receivers just run free. And I know, like I was told by an NFL scout that I was talking to. He goes, well, that's normal in college because the defensive backs aren't up to the pro level. That's why only very few defensive backs get picked. Like you got to be next level. So he goes, if you really look at college football, every play somebody's wide open. And I never thought about it like that, because if we talking about this with our defense, just think the defense is what the fans are saying to what Cam is doing to them, right? So
Right.
I try to keep that in perspective, because
that's a very, very, very smart comment.
Never
thought about it like that.
Like we're always like, why is it so easy for the other team to score on us, but yet we score more than them? So what are those fan bases going through right now? Saying this dude just put up 51 on us on a average game through 319.
Not only that, Cam is putting up points and throwing the ball with under 2 minutes to go when we have to throw the ball.
We're
going to throw the ball.
Yeah. Can we talk about this? I guess call Louisville's holding on to the fumble that they scored. Here's the thing I want to tell them. That would have made the game a tie. Miami would have got the ball back. You don't think they would have scored?
Right. There's nothing that Louisville.
What are you even talking about right now?
That would have shown them that they had a chance to still win that game, even if they got that touchdown, because they had not stopped Cam Ward all day.
And the narrative is wrong. They're saying, oh, that's why Miami. No, Miami, you realize after a team scores a touchdown, if they would have made the extra point, Miami gets the ball back.
Right.
Like nobody talking about that. They saying that call saved Miami. No, it would have been a tie game. And then Miami would have got the ball back. You haven't stopped them any possession in the second half. Why do you think you're going to stop them on the last one when everything on the line, when you couldn't even do that the whole game?
What I will say is this, and we're not watching the games punch drunk on our own team. There are teams that Louisville has played where they didn't put up 30 points.
Yeah.
So we can't be who we think we are and have them play us and they put up 45 points. We shouldn't have to put up 50 points to win a game. We needed all 50 of those points to win the damn game. So I hope that, like I said, I think I texted to you, but now I think it's time for a coaches only meeting where they make some tough decisions, because if Zaquan Patterson is the dude, let's see it. If I don't even know who the other secondary,
because can we be honest? We can't get worse.
Yeah, we can't get any worse.
You can't get
worse than Cal, USF, Louisville, and everybody scoring over 30 points on us. When at first, in the first couple of games, it looked like we had a shutdown defense.
We got a comment coming in. Says defense is trash. Can't get off the field on 3rd down and 4th down. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Little mystical right there. Not consistent. They look lost. They do. The defensive backs look lost. Huh?
The secondary does. Your linebackers are going to get beat up. Your linebackers are going to get caught out of position. Nobody hates tackling for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And you just get winded. And that's why Miami is able to ground and pound, because we actually have at least 4 or 5 running backs that's just like, okay, now tackle this guy. And lo and behold, our running backs are like 6'1" and taller. You know what I mean? So nobody hates to see an Adrian Peterson coming at them in the 3rd quarter. You just tired, bro.
You know what? I lost my train of thought earlier, but I was saying this is the 2nd year on the Guidry on the defensive side, and he coaches the safeties. Do you think, speaking about reevaluating coaches only meeting on defense, maybe his scheme is just too hard for them to, like, I don't know his scheme, but maybe it's just too hard, because now you've had 4 safeties. James Williams, Cam is playing in the pros. James is in the pros. Now you have 4 safeties go through this, and they can't pick it up. So, I said it's not coaching, but maybe it's just too hard to understand. I don't know. Like, I've never played on that level. You know what I mean? That's why I'm asking. You played, you've been around it. You were at Miami in 91. Is the scheme just too hard for the safeties to understand? If anybody that's watching has played high-level football and you can watch them and know the schemes aren't hard, or maybe they're too hard, let me know, because that's the question I have. If you go through 4 safeties and 5 or 6, let's be honest, because they got replacements, people pop in, nobody seems to get it. So is that scheme for safety just too hard?
This is my opinion. I've seen in these last years of being a fan, two people who really made our defense pop, and that was Manny Diaz when he had Quarterman, Pickney, and McLeod playing linebacker. We had just a devious freaking D line with the Joe Jacksons and all the people coming off the. I mean, we got to the quarterback when Guidry got here last year. The blitz packages were phenomenal. We weren't winning everything, but we were getting to the quarterback. The beginning of this year, we didn't even have to do blitz packages because Tyler Barron and Austin
was a beast
to the quarterback. And Bain wasn't even on the field. Now, this is also, I noticed something about Austin. He missed 2 more tackles that went for big plays. I don't know. You got to go back and watch the tape. But I'm like, this number 11, he will have the quarterback in sight. And the quarterback does one little move, and this guy runs past him. But there's something about our secondary, and I'm going to say no to this question because I've watched number 19 be outrun by a tight end. You have to have speed.
Yes, we did. You
have to have speed to play cornerback. I don't understand why Darryl Porter Jr. looks different this year than last year. He was a down corner last year.
Yeah.
He is not that this year. And I would say he's our best cornerback and our most experienced cornerback. Jadis Richards, I mean, I like him. He has length, but I don't know what is wrong with Damani Brown. But we need him in this rotation because Jadis Richards is also not an every down.
Okay. So let's talk about it. Look, I play college football. You play college football. I was on more of the offensive or, linebacker at some time, but how much better? Because, usually they say when you're in the middle of the season, you got what you got. You got to learn how to play around it. You know what I mean? Like, how much better? We got 6 weeks because we're going to be in the ACC. Look, I believe they're going to run the table. They're going to go to the ACC championship. Clemson's going to be there. It'll be a problem. I think they get it done because of Cam Ward. But how much better can people with no hips, no speed, get in 6 weeks? I'm just being realistic now because if anybody been watching my podcast from the beginning, I was championing our defensive backs because honestly, I thought James Williams was a linebacker instead of a safety. But now I'm saying, these two weren't that bad. Like James compared to what we got now wasn't that bad. So what's going on?
The angles. There's something that you have to see as a safety. Not only quarterbacking the field on the defensive side of the ball, but you're back that far for a reason. You actually see who has the ball. You actually can see where the ball is thrown, and it takes you a little time to get there if you're like on the other side of the field. But once you get there, all you got to do is slow the guy up a little bit till the cavalry comes. If you're a dope safety, you just making a one-on-one open field tackle. You hold your hand up, the fist to let people know you did it.
Yeah,
that's all safeties do that. You know what I'm saying? They count out the next.
And now they're doing this right here. Now they're doing this.
Yeah. And what do cornerbacks do? And cornerbacks make a play.
Yeah,
that's it. I strapped him up. He ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
We haven't seen our safeties or corners do any of this in 5 games.
Our safeties and quarterbacks, they doing this when the other team score touchdown, another touchdown.
Our quarterbacks and safeties are doing this.
Let me ask you. Let me throw out this hypothetical. Let me just throw out this. Do you think Guidry? Let me ask it, and I've never thought about this. So we just talked. Do you think Guidry is playing man to man because he knows that gives them their best chance because they're not going to open field? You can't play zone with these guys because he knows they can't make open field tackles. So maybe he's like, I'd rather go one-on-one and risk it instead of just having these dudes in coverage. And I know they're not going to make the tackle and they're going to get 10 yards every play. At least when you go man to man, it gives my defensive line a chance to get to the quarterback. Maybe that's the play. Maybe that's what he's seeing. He's seeing what we see. They can't tackle in open field.
At first, we were really good at man-to-man, and then he saw what I guess we were seeing, that a lot of the defensive coordinators that sit up top in that press booth looking down, they're like, they in man. float out this screen. Do
Yep.
this, you know, and once you get a speedy person on the edge and your cornerback has turned around and started running with a guy who's doing a post, there's nobody over there anymore.
Yeah.
Now all you got to do is sneak the running back out, sneak a tight end out.
Yep.
And by that time, it's too late. You're talking about a 20-yard game.
And I love Kiko, but he's just not fast enough to stay with those dudes.
He cannot stay with a tight end, bro.
I love Kiko. And Kiko, like, man, that dude, I believe he's the heartbeat of that defense. It's just you can't put him in that position where he's holding a running back, because we were lucky with the Isaac Brown touchdown. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, that dude should have caught that. But Kiko, he is the heart of that defense. But you got to try everything you can, because everybody has strength and weaknesses. His right now is the running back, a fast running back in the flats, or, running that up pattern.
Everybody who we are about to face, the Georgia Techs, the Syracuse, if we get the Clemson, these running backs, bro, they are compact.
Yeah.
They are Travis Etienne. They are AJ Allen-esque.
Yes.
And if a safety cannot come up and make a proper angle tackle to help out a running back or a D lineman, to make that running back come through that hole a little bit more gingerly because he think he about to get popped, there's no reason Isaac Brown, or whatever his name is, should have been running at full speed from the time he touched the ball to the time turning that, going through the hole, to the time he turning the corner, all the way down the sideline. It's like, where is your safety who should be coming up at an angle? Because you saw it. You back there for a reason.
Yeah.
So when he blows by you, or you take a poor angle and then you're turning around running after him, it make everybody look like, well, damn.
Anthony Mendez says Trajan Bandy was 5'9", corners, and none of our present corners can cover or tackle. That dude was a beast. He left way too early, man. That's when all the Miami players are just leaving and they never get drafted. I was like, what is this dude doing, man?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Here at our program, and I'm so happy that Mario is like culture. Because Dabo is like culture. Dabo had first-round draft picks on the D-line for the last 10 years. But they were all seniors. He didn't let either. He was saying, I don't care what they're paying you. You coming back for your senior year? They would all stay, and they would all just wreck shop in the ACC. And hopefully, Miami gets to that point where people like Amon Moulton and this guy Campbell, who's on the bench, and then we got the freshman Scott, who's a 5-star. And then we have all the guys that are from Mesador to everybody who came back. That rotation, man, I mean, our D-line, I'm still impressed with them. I just don't know why the sack production has been low the last 3 games.
So here's another comment. Patterson is better than Harris. I'd rather go with a freshman who wants to hit someone than someone who's lost. Harris hasn't been present since the UF game. And I believe Patterson, he created a fumble yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, created a fumble yesterday.
Cal game, he made a play. I mean, I think he sees the field better. I know he tackles better.
Yes.
And, Harris is whatever. But, bro, if you watch Mish Powell out there, I mean, Mish loves to celebrate when he does a good job at something.
Yes.
It makes you forget about the last 10 plays where Mish is out of position, or Mish is late to the play, or Mish is he missed a tackle. So you got 2 safeties playing. It's just such a glaring, oh my God, we don't have any help on the back end. So then, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, so here, I mean, the answer is, how do you fix that? And every time I talk to a coach, they're always like, off record, they're like, what you got is what you got. It's the middle of the year. You ain't getting transfers in right now. You're playing, you believe, your best players. Maybe a freshman or 2 you're holding back to redshirt. That's the only reason I believe JoJo, they don't want him to. Maybe JoJo's played more, but I believe they would rather redshirt JoJo now. So he could play, he could start next year. So what do you do? Look, we got over 100 people watching right now. Well, y'all in the comments. First of all, I got a question for everybody in the comments. Please subscribe, first of all. But can this defensive backfield get better in the next 5 to 6 weeks before the ACC championship game? And what's your opinion on what they can do? Because to me, you got what you got. You just got to scheme it up different. You got to make it easier. I don't know. The thing I'm worried about is we're still seeing receivers run free, totally free, because of coverage is busted.
Yes.
Look, if they miss a tackle, that's one thing. We know they're not going to make a lot of open field tackles, right? But when a dude's running free or a running back runs a 43-yard touchdown and doesn't get touched by a defensive back, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's what they call the new word they use, bad eyes. That's bad eyes. You know, that's
you got cover 3, you got cover 2. Regardless of which coverage you're in, if your receiver on the outside is running the streak down the field, that is your man. Anybody coming out there to the flats, that's the linebacker's man. So when you got a linebacker and a cornerback in the flat, and then you got your safety trying to run out an angle with somebody who's going down the sideline because the cornerback stopped running with his man, that is a communication problem and a coverage problem, and somebody is not understanding the plays.
Well,
and that's what we see.
That's what we said. It's communication. We got Josh was saying angles are easy to fix, but it looks like we have slow DBs. Unfortunately, they can't.
You cannot fix. You cannot make people fast. You cannot fix speed. But the kid that I feel like you have to put them both on the field just in a rotation just to see what you have. He's undersized, but you got to put Markeith Williams on the field and you got to put Zaquan Patterson on the field just to see what it looks like, because I thought Markeith had a good game in Florida. I thought he knew his responsibility.
Yeah.
Part of it is just knowing your responsibility. That's all it is.
And that's what I'm asking for. Just know where you go. Look, if you miss a tackle, as a true fan, a person that really watches games, I know you're going to miss a tackle. You know, I'm not like, I'm mad about it, but it's like, it is what it is. I know maybe that's why Guidry is playing man-to-man so much, because he doesn't want y'all to play zone and let them catch the ball. It's either they catch a 10-yard hook and then they go for another 10. So he'd rather give his defensive line a chance. I know you're going to miss a tackle. I know you're going to miss it. And I know you're not fast. So just don't let people run free. That's all. Just know your assignment. That's all I want. That's all I want.
I thought coming out of the bye week and watching the Cal game, I was really excited to see the secondary again, because we knew that Louisville was going to throw the ball. They have one of the better quarterbacks in college football.
He threw for 342. He threw for 342.
Coordinators in college football. So I said, oh, man, this is going to be a real test for Cam to see if they can outscore Louisville. But then what I noticed when Louisville play other people, they're not really putting up 40 points. So I'm like,
that was my whole point. But is it because everybody wants to beat Miami? So because we, in our minds, and this is kind of the homer in me, well, everybody thinks we're their Super Bowl. Even when we were sorry, we would say that, right? Everybody wants to beat. But is that a realistic thing that everybody gets more up for us than other teams? Now, us fans want to believe that because we all about the U.
Right.
But is it when Cal scores 14 points the next week against some other school, only 14?
Let me tell you something, bro. I have a good friend out here. Shout out to Clint Brownie, who played for Cal, who is my age. He's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
And he said, I will never forget when Miami came to Cal and they just all the he was on the field when all that happened. So every time they show the U and they show those clips of Miami doing the celebration rule, a lot of that was against Cal.
Yeah.
So Cal definitely was like, oh, they coming back out here? Because I think Cal wouldn't even have us on their schedule. I don't even think I told you that story when they got back to Miami, they tried to fire Coach Erickson. That's how bad it was. That's how bad the celebrations were. We beat them by like 40 points, but we were going to fire the coach.
And let's be honest. All these pundits and people doing these talk shows that are on ESPN or calling games, they are a little bit older than us, maybe the same age. They got the beat downs by Miami. That's why they're so upset about it today. And that's why, we talk a lot And people just think, oh, it's the Canes complaint. We talk a lot about the national media, but there's a lot of truth to it because those people are the ones in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that got to beat that Miami was beating the hell out of them. And They hated it. They hate it. So guess what? When those little boys that got beat up grow up to be adults, now they really ain't, but now they got a platform to talk about it.
Right.
Now they got a platform to show their hate towards Miami. No matter what they do, Miami does, we gonna hate on them. And that's what's happening today. Those people that were 20, now they 45, 55, 60. Now they got platforms to talk on. And that's why there's so much national hate for Miami. And believe it, there is.
Well, I tell you what, Cam is a blessing. Cam and Mario together with Shannon Dawson is a blessing. Because even though, we let Jeremiah Smith get away, the Jeremiah Smiths that choose to stay in Miami and the Ray Lewises that choose to stay in Miami for the future, for what you don't understand. There are people who are going to Auburn right now because of Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. So all this matters. The way we win, how we win, Cardiac Canes is only more exciting for little kids saying we won. They're not saying, the defense sucked. They saying Miami won. And man, when you get to see the swag and the performance that we put on in a winning fashion, now you get to keep those kids in South Florida because they're going to say, I'm Xavier Restrepo. I'm 5'10", but I can run a 4.4.
Yep.
We're going to keep these kids, and that's all we ever wanted, was to rope off South Florida again and just keep the talent home.
Traveling Fool's comment.
He's a blessing. His coaching is better. His decisions are better. We just need that secondary to step up. And we can all point out the obvious. Real quick, somebody had pointed out, this is right after the game.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, we won. And in the comments, somebody was like, yeah, he should get in that locker room and cuss out the defense. I said, after a victory?
Nah.
You don't get in a locker room and say, defense, we could have played better. You say we to you dance, you celebrate, you get on that plane, you enjoy each other's company, and then on Monday it's back to business.
Mario sure did call out the special teams though. They're gonna have a bad meeting on Monday.
Hey, and to me, that's punching down, because if anybody you can cuss out is special teams. Your special teams coach might be a grad assistant.
Yeah,
so you can talk to them, but you can't say nothing to your defensive coordinator or your offensive coordinator, because you can easily have the University of Kansas State or whatever come with a bag and say, Mr. Dawson, would you like to would you like to run the show next year?
Yes, 100%.
And now you back at square one and starting over because you don't have no defensive coordinator or no offensive coordinator.
I got to read this comment. So when we were talking about we got what we got as defensive backs, totally got what we got. Anyone who thinks our D is going to win us games is delusional at this point. Our ability to score is our saving grace. I hope you're wrong, Traveling Fool. And thanks for subscribing. Traveling Fools has been down for the podcast since day one. I hope not. I hope that they can just stop the bust. Right. Just stop, because I think you can improve that. You can't get faster. You're not going to be able to tackle. I don't expect them to make a lot of open field tackles.
Tackling can improve, but you can't get faster.
No.
Tackles can improve. And it was a huge play and a momentum changer when we thought this game was about to be broken wide open, when they sandwiched Isaac Brown. And
I thought it was, yeah.
That was all defense. That was a defensive line and a linebacker play. And if we can get 1.5 of those a game, if it's not going to be a pick, then it got to be a fumble and recovery in their territory. Then that's your defense helping you win the game.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a 3 and out every time because they're college kids. Nobody's that smart. Nobody's that good. And everybody gets tired. So you're not going to stop a potent offense and get these national programs off the field with a 3 and out. But if you can make a fumble, remember when our defensive backs used to really punch at the ball?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Because they wanted to wear that chain. That stupid chain. It's not stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not the stupid chain. But they wanted to, it was like, I'm wearing the chain this week.
Yeah.
So everybody would rip at the ball. these defensive backs on this team, bro, don't even have that in them. We just hoping they make a tackle.
Yeah. I just wonder at the University of Miami, how defensive back wise. Look, we got champagne problems right now. I mean, it's not champagne problems.
We got like 20 defensive backs on the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be too negative because, like I said, this is somebody kids we talking about, but and we're not talking about them personally. I'm just saying, man, it's a very slow defensive backfield we got, and they're not great at tackling. Sage X says if we don't improve our defense, which I don't think we will, we'll lose 2 games. I will agree with that, but in a different way. I think if anything, if they do lose 2 games, I think they lose 1 game, and that's in the playoffs. I don't know where that comes, but that's the game they're going to lose. I think they win the ACC championship, or they lose the ACC championship but still make the playoffs, and that'll be their second loss. I don't see them losing the rest of the schedule. I see Florida State, believe it or not, scoring 21, 28 points for some reason because everybody scores against us.
Yes.
And all you got to do, a quarterback, just throw it. just we're going to get pass interference. Just throw. Like if I was coaching against Miami, I would have people, you remember Tecmo Bowl where you just put all 4 people on streaks?
Yeah.
I would do that the whole game because they're going to hold you. They're going to pass it. That's all I would do the whole game. That one play, 4 streaks. That's it.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be that Canes fan that says, because I know running backwards and covering people who run a 4.4 and a 4.5 is hard.
Tough.
It's tough as hell, bro. Because you're guessing. You're basically guessing.
Mm-hmm.
The minute you take off running with them, they stop and they do a comeback, and your ass is still running. You know what I mean? The minute you run with them and sit on the route because you think they're breaking down, they do a stop and go. They down the field and your ass is stopped. Or they're doing a post going across the field. And in that moment, you're saying to yourself, should I run with this guy or does the safety have him? And that's what we're talking about. What is the responsibility if my guy comes right at me and then breaks across the field? Is Mish going to pick him up, or am I supposed to go out there with him? It just seems like what we've been seeing is every time nobody knows.
Yeah.
So I'm challenging our defensive backs. And I know Guidry's going to watch this tape and puke many times, but he's going to get to work on Monday and say, fellas, you're making me look bad. You're making me look bad. Like at this point, this is on me. It's not even on you. They're asking who is coaching the defense. Meanwhile, Shannon Dawson over there drinking Moet and Chris.
he living a rap video life. Like what?
They are sending letters to his home right now saying, "Please come coach our university."
Yes.
So, and that's all you want as a coach. You want to be recognized as your efforts. Where somebody says, "Okay, who's the coach at SMU? We love to give you this huge bag if you want to come back to your alma mater and change our program around." And
he left. Rhett left because he was at Miami, put up numbers, and then they're like,
in the ACC, I don't want to play. It's Rhett Lashley right now. I do not want to play SMU. They are balling. I don't want to play SMU.
Here's the thing with SMU. I think we beat them handily because our defensive line would overpower their offensive line. Our trenches would be they're not made for trenches. Yes, they would score because if they get the ball out fast, but I mean, there's only a certain, like, you see it even with Louisville, like you just never worried because let's be honest, Miami should have won that game by like 14, maybe 21 points. Right? If they didn't get that, because here's what happened. Let's take away the kick. Hold on. Let's take away the kickoff.
Yeah.
And let's take away that basically last touchdown where they were kind of playing. They weren't playing prevent, but they didn't mind them scoring. They were trying to stop them, but it was kind of like, all right, they're wasting time off the clock too at the same time, you know? So I don't know. I just feel like that's 14 points. And then I never was worried. Even if they would have scored that touchdown on that call, I was like, we get the ball back. They haven't. I think we scored every possession in that second half.
Mm-hmm.
So to think you would have stopped us just because it was No, you wouldn't have. So I don't know. Hopefully our defensive backs get better. Linebackers, they are what they are. I love Kiko and the linebackers. It's just you can't put Kiko with a running back right now out of the backfield. It's you got to whatever you scheme up, you can't leave him on an island with a running back. So
always keep this in mind too, and this goes on, especially this definitely goes on in college sports, but especially football. You take a senior off that field, you are really making a huge statement.
Mm-hmm.
You are messing with his so-called draft status. You're going to hear from his parents.
His
you
agent
probably convinced him to please come back because this is your last year in leadership and we need you. In fact, you cannot just take a senior off the field. So, that's a very touchy subject when it comes to these programs. And all of a sudden, just unless you got a 5-star coming in like Jeremiah Smith and your whole wide receiver room has went to the NFL, then okay, Jeremiah Smith is going to start. But you can't promise I'm going to play JoJo Trader in front of Xavier Restrepo. You're not even playing Ray Joseph.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking X off the field.
No, never.
So, these next coming games coming up, you're not going to take Mish off the field. You could possibly take Jaden Harris off the field, but and you're not taking Darryl Porter off the field.
Well, look, the thing I will say about Mish, I think, look, the defensive backs aren't playing well, but he is the leader of them, I think. Like there is, at least he brings some veteranship where he might not take the best angles but he knows what's going on. Like I trust him to know what's going on because really on the bus, you hardly ever see, and correct me if I'm wrong, all the people watching, thank you for the 130 people watching right now. Subscribe if you get a chance. But I don't see Mish bust a lot. I see everybody pointing at Mish like, isn't that you? And Mish is like, no, that's not
right. Right.
It's funny to watch a quarterback run it and point at Mish, and Mish is like, no, that's you.
Yeah, you know damn well that ain't me.
Mish is like, nah, man.
Mish talk off the field, he talks like Cam Ward. He's very confident.
Yes.
He knows,
and I like
defense.
That.
He knows how to get people in position. I just feel like we have 2 cornerbacks, one who just got to the university, Damani Hill, and then we have Jaden Richard, who should know what he's doing, but sometimes he's either too slow or he's just not in the right position. You know what I mean? So he looks bad. But
but correct, and somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I don't think we played as much man-to-man last year, did we?
No,
I feel like we're playing way more man-to-man this year.
We're playing a lot of man-to-man this year, but what we did last year is if we were playing man-to-man, we were blitzing.
Yes.
We're not doing the same thing. And I don't know why Guidry is like saying we're just going to rush 4. I remember when we would rush the cornerback. We were rushing.
That's right. We were rushing people from everywhere. Yeah.
He was another lineman. He had like 10 sacks last year.
Fans were coming out the stage and out the stands and rushing. Did you be like, yo, come here?
I was like, this dude is rush happy. It's going to come back to bite us. And it just always worked out.
You know what I think it is? And you hear them, and I really do think they're more conscious of this, complementary football, right? Mm-hmm. I think Guidry is like, I just think he doesn't want to look, he knows the limitation of his defense. So he's kind of like, let's not get burned for a deep play and put our offense back on so fast. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's let them work to get down the field. And I think, and I'm going to say this again, I think his best option is, because they're not great open field tacklers, is man-to-man, because he thinks his four are going to get there. His 4 are going to get pressure like they did that whole game in Louisville. Those 4 got pressure, right? And
a bunch of
since those cornerbacks and safeties don't take great angles, at least when you don't rush your linebackers, you give them an opportunity to help out in tackling as well, right? So maybe I mean, I'm not a coach or anything, but maybe that's the whole thinking behind not blitzing, because you don't have a lot of great tacklers in the secondary. You don't have a lot of speed in the secondary. So if I don't put my linebackers rushing, at least they can possibly help out.
Who do we have next?
Florida State. I'm going. By the way, all you Miami Hurricane fans, I will be at the Florida State game. I'm coming, baby.
Yes,
sir.
I'll text you when I land. I'll be like, I made it.
Are you coming?
Yeah, I just, I got, me and the wife, we
She don't know you going yet, huh? Okay.
But yes. Look, Florida State has upgraded at quarterback because everybody was going to be better than what they had, and they're actually putting points on the board now. I know Florida State is going to be up to play us.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to have a proper thrashing of the Seminoles the way they deserve and the way they put on us, especially the last 2 years. Well, not
no. We could have won that.
But the year before last, when they came to Miami and put up like 40 points, and we had Ja'Cory Brown who was overthrowing people, and we had Tyler Van Dyke who had a bump shoulder. That was an ugly night, bro. People left in the third quarter. It was so ugly.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping for like a 45-21 game. That's what I'm hoping. But why does my gut say Florida gonna play their best game ever? It's something about Florida State and Miami, man. Records don't matter.
Florida State has a great tight end. We have a problem with tight ends. Florida State has great running backs. We have a problem tackling. We'll see what happens. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. My boy said FSU about to turn into the Chiefs against us.
They about to sneak people in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Charlie Ward playing quarterback.
Ward Dunn gonna be the quarterback.
Everybody gonna have on visors. We ain't gonna know who we playing against. Cam Akers coming back from the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody coming back to play this game.
Dion be in the defensive back. It's like, why they all got visors on? I don't understand this.
Hey, why y'all's cornerback got a gray beard?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Man. All right, Finesse. Any final thoughts on Miami? I still see them winning out. They gotta do. They really can't fix the defensive backfield, but they can fix the bust. So hopefully they do that. That's all I expect them to do. So yeah, I think we go to the playoffs right now, and I think we make the semifinals. Where are you at?
My final thoughts are to the Canes family. We have been waiting for this for a very long time.
Yes.
It's very easy to be like, we need to fix this, we need to fix that. But just think about where we would be if Cam Ward had decided to go to the pros. So I tell us this to say, hey, be grateful, be thankful that we're cheering for our Canes the way that we are. We're supporting them the way that we are. Y'all, please show up to that stadium. Make it a home field advantage like in other places in college football. And just remember this. We've been dying to get to a 5-0, a 6-0 for 20 years. And we're here and we're bitching about shit. We can't do nothing as fans. We can keep complaining, but all we got, what happened?
You made some motion. Every motion you make is starting fireworks or hearts or something like that's hilarious.
Like, something's on fire. But yeah, man. So I just say all that to say is that let's just love on our Canes right now and pray that they get it together this week in preparation. And I do, if we lose one game, I hope it's one game we can lose and still make the playoffs. But I'm with Michael at this point. I don't see us being outscored.
No.
I see us being scored on, but I don't see us being outscored.
I never thought Miami would have a Pac-12 defense.
Oh, yes. That's
right.
What it is.
It's almost like we Pac-12 in the ACC.
Yes.
Like y'all score as many points as y'all want, but we're gonna score more. And that's the thing why I'm so happy about Miami right now. And it's Cam Ward, it's the receiver room, it's the offensive line, it's everybody on the offense. Is that any game, like, look, Georgia, they got a bunch of dogs. Texas got a bunch of dogs, but I know we'll score. I know we'll score.
Yeah,
they're gonna score, but I know we're gonna score too, because I don't care what type of defensive line you got. Georgia, look, we got a great offensive line, and Cam don't need much time.
When I watched that Georgia-Texas game, I kept asking myself, can our O-line block number 13, number 11?
11.
These guys coming off the edge, and then these big. It's like they work in a meat butchery in the back. They are up front chopping. They bringing in the meat off the trucks. These dudes that were D tackles for Georgia, they didn't look like that against Alabama. I don't know why, but they just came ready to play. And I was so proud of Georgia because they looked like Georgia.
Yeah,
you know, they really did. And so, but then I look at our O-line and I'm like, Maui Goa he's a consistent.
Well, and let me tell you,
our O-line, they just consistent.
And let me tell you something. Texas, let's be honest, they had smaller backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put a Damian Martinez towards the pressure, Cam Ward will know where that pressure is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting up a defensive end, a 230, 235 running back gonna slow him down too, along with that tackle. You know what I mean? That end. So I mean, it's good to have big backs too, and that's the type of game where keep the big backs in because the pressure's coming.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I want us to get to that playoff. I want us to win the ACC for once since we've been here. So I want us to spank Clemson if it's Clemson. And I want us to get to that first playoff game to see how our team stacks up against somebody who we're like, so we about to play Oregon? Let's go.
Well, Anthony thinks watching that UGA team last night showed that Miami is still a few years away from being like that. See, I disagree because Anthony, did you see the Kentucky game? What'd you think after that Kentucky game when they barely won by 1 point? I bet you weren't saying that. Mm-hmm. I bet you weren't saying that, were you? No, you weren't. When they lost to Alabama, you weren't saying that, were you? See, we go by so much of what's going on right now, and everybody's crapping on Miami's schedule. But if you look at ESPN, third best power ranking in schedules for some odd reason, which I don't understand. But they're saying we played Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know how they got that, but they're saying power of schedule. I think it's called POS, piece of shit, power schedule, whatever it is.
Right.
We third. Correct me if I'm wrong for the people watching. That's what I saw.
Third in the ACC. I don't think we third in
No, because it said Oregon was 1, Boise was 2 or something, and we were third. Power of schedule.
No, they must have meant Florida. Because Florida has to play everybody.
No, I get that. But they said right now, for teams that are in it, I don't know that we have the third. Please, somebody in the comments hit me up. No. And I don't believe.
I'll correct Mr. Yo on this one.
No. Yes, look right here. Can you see the comments?
Third in the country.
Dude, and I don't know how they got it. I don't know how.
No, listen. We play Louisville, Georgia Tech.
I'm telling you what they're saying. I'm telling you
California. Those 4 teams take us out of the running to become America's Next Top Model. When you got to do the entire SEC, bro.
Dude,
there's no way.
Finesse.
Yes.
They're saying we have the third toughest schedule. ESPN put that out there.
They were talking about
Nick Saban last week on game day was like, at that time, we had the second hardest schedule. I don't know how they're getting these numbers.
Tennessee and Florida have to play the entire SEC.
I understand that.
Now, we're not talking about Alabama and Georgia and Texas, because we know they play who they play. But there's no breaks for the University of Florida. I'm shocked that Tennessee beat Alabama. There's no breaks for Tennessee. There's no breaks for Ole Miss. And Kentucky be balling. So there's no way us playing Syracuse and Georgia Tech and Cal and USF is going to even come close to having the third toughest.
Dude, I don't know how they got. If anybody knows how they got that, please leave it in my comments because this is what they're saying. This is all over the place, Finesse.
The miles we got to fly to get to other stadiums. The mileage. They was talking about a cheerleading our Suns versus the Dogettes. And
they were talking about the Cavanagh twins, the travel they do.
Yes.
Back and forth.
Yes.
No, but it was all over the place, man. Hold on. Cam Ward. Oh, here we go. Let's get Kenny in it. Cam Ward is the Heisman front runner. He's carrying Miami. This offense is the best, and Ward is putting up video game numbers. He's fun. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I agree, Kenny, but that kid from Boise State, that dude, hey, bro. I mean, he averaging 200 yards a game.
Boyo says, I think we have the third weakest strength of schedule.
There you go. Thank you, Boyo. Somebody please correct Mr. Yo.
No, I'm just telling you what they reporting, man.
Y'all read it wrong.
No.
Weakest. Third weakest.
Nah, man. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Finesse, we got to bounce. Where you at? Tell people where you're going to be.
I will be at the Mohegan Sun Casino at Comics Roadhouse, Comics Comedy Club, the end of the month. What is this? October? So October 31st through November 1st. If you're October 31st, through November 2nd. If you're in the Mohegan Sun, Hartford, Providence, New England area, come down to Mohegan Sun Casino. Get your tickets at comicsroadhouse.com or finessemitchell.com. And then me and Tisha Campbell are doing some shows around the country at the Richmond Funny Bone, the Toledo Funny Bone, and the Cleveland Funny Bone. Y'all can just go to finessemitchell.com to see Tisha Campbell from Martin, Gina, do some stand-up comedy along with your boy Finesse Mitchell.
I love it. Hang on, I'm getting yelled at.
How did you sell out, Michael? You got to help me put some people in the seats at La Jolla. I'm going to the.
Oh, La Jolla. Where's La Jolla? Hold on. This Raf guy got really mad at me. He got really mad at me. So I got to put his comment because I want to show you where he said I answered why they said the schedule, but you conveniently avoided it. LOL. Oh, he's real aggressive with me. He put the LOL. You know he didn't mean that LOL part.
He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it. Rav. Hold on, here we go. It was scheduled up to the current game, not the entire schedule. So we're number 3, toughest schedule till now, not for the entire year. That makes sense because a lot of these teams still playing like they got to their conference schedule, but they still got some outside games too here and there.
Gotcha.
All right, Rav. Thank you, Rav.
Yeah, Rav.
Stop yelling at me, Rav.
LOL.
All right, Rav. All right, let me see the you're so right. Just check. Yeah. Look at that. Read that. What'd it say? That
ESPN has us third SOR behind Georgia and Oregon. Apologies, broski.
See there?
Strength of.
Don't try to make something up.
I'm trying to make something up. My mind not quick enough.
So I heard Miami is favored by 21 against Florida State. That's crazy. Smash that like button. We gotta go. I gotta go. I got a family in the other room waiting on me.
All right,
all right, man. Take care. Oh, by the way, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna be first time ever performing in Madison, Wisconsin at Comedy on State. It's gonna be amazing.
November
7th through 9th. Tickets are already selling well. I want to sell out all the shows. Let's go. It's all about the you. Y'all have a great day. Later. Let me hit that end button.